So I'm here with Bill Treasure, who's author of Leaders Open Doors. And first of all, tell us the story that drove this title.
Well, you know, I've been doing leadership development for about 20 years.
Yeah.
And like a lot of leadership, experts, quote unquote, we complexify leadership a bit too much, and I did too. I was a card-carrying member of the Legion of Complexifiers. Yeah. And one day my son got to be the class leader for the day, and he's only 5 years old. So my wife says, make a big deal of it. I was like, well, this is a big deal.
It is a big deal.
I'm like, come here, buddy. What'd you get to do as class leader for the day? I thought he was going to say, I stood them all in a straight line, and then I pointed out the direction, and I marched, and they were behind me, and, sort of this command leadership. And instead he said, I got to open doors for people. And I started thinking about that, leaders that have made all the difference in my own life. And I imagine this is the case for you as well. Yeah. And there was somebody who took an interest in me. They opened doors of opportunity to help me prove myself to myself. And that got me back to the central, simple idea that leaders really need to be providers of opportunity, of growth and development for the company and for the people who run that company.
And so, what does that mean we have to do first? You went through 5 precepts, but that first one really struck me.
Well, I think that you've got to give people a chance to prove themselves to themselves. Yeah. You've got to give them a step-up moment. So it may be as simple as letting them run a meeting when you're not there. Give them a chance to step up and shine. But it takes getting interested in them. As a leader, we always want to tell them, here's what the goals of the company are, here's what the goals of the department and division are. But very rarely do we say, what are your goals? What do you want to get out of this experience in working for this company or working for me? If you know what their goals are, then together you can match the right opportunity to the goals of the organization based on their passion and where you're trying to get to. That's kind of the sweet spot. So it's giving people an opportunity to shine in the service of their career, but also in service of the goals of the organization.
Yeah, and at the epicenter of this has been this word courage. Look, you've got to have the courage to be able to let them do it, and you've got to somehow or another bolster their courage, just even again leading a meeting if that's something new. And what I love is that you're a former member of the U.S. high dive team, and we're talking about 1,500 dives, some over 100 feet, on fire. So this courage at work thing, give us a couple ideas of.
Well, I think that, this is going to be, it sounds a little crass to say.
All right.
Your job as a leader is to make people uncomfortable. Now, I don't mean that in a punitive way, and you know that I'm not into fear-inspiring people. But what I mean is you got to be willing to nudge people into their discomfort zone. Because at the end of the day, I like how Ginny Rometty, the CEO of IBM, said, actually at a Fortune conference for the Most Powerful Women conference, she said, comfort and growth don't coexist. Yeah. If you want to grow, progress, evolve, you got to be willing to get into your discomfort zone, not your comfort zone. So you as a leader have to be nudging people forward out of complacency for the betterment of their career.
Yeah. And so I guess courage comes from just going out and pushing that edge of your comfort zone.
Yeah, it's kind of like a ripple effect. You do that one thing that you're afraid of, but you're capable of, but psychologically there's some blockage. You get a leader who helps you through that moment, and you know what your reward is for this act of courage? A bigger act of courage that'll be required of you a little bit later on. It's sort of this, we are the sum total of these ripple effects of courageous acts that we have to take over and over in bigger and more magnified ways, I think.
Good. Bill, it's been great. You closed the conference beautiful for us, beautifully, and so safe travels back.
Well, Verne, thanks for opening the door for me to help me come to the Fortune Summit. It was fantastic.
You bet. Good.